Hello! How are we today? Today's Easter, so happy Easter. I brought a little fur baby with me today. He was giving me puppy dog eyes, so I just couldn't leave him behind. And also, I rolled down this window, so hopefully my sounds okay for him. Fingers crossed. But today's topic is one of my favorites, and it really dives into kind of where we are and what's kind of about to happen and why personal branding matters in this schema of media shifts that is currently happening today in the world. So, to kick it off, obviously the world moves fast. Our lives move faster. The 9 to 5 stretches past 5. The to-do lists never seem to shrink. And in the midst of it all, we're constantly balancing home, health, and the people we care about. We all seek comfort somewhere, but where we find it is personal. What's undeniable, though, is that comfort requires trust. For me to be comfortable with you, I have to trust you. I'm not gonna, poop in your house until I trust you. It's such an odd example, sorry. But you get it. And in today's world, we've been trained to turn to our devices for that. It's a subconscious shift, one that becomes more visible as we move from baby boomers to Gen Alpha. Screens have long been a source of comfort, whether it was black and white screens of the past or iPads, keeping a child entertained at a restaurant. We all seen them. What once felt like an occasional indulgence is now woven into the fabric of everyday life. I'm gonna watch this back really quick because the birds are birding, and as they should, it's Easter. It's like the day for animals to do as they please. So I'm just gonna run back and see how the sound's going. The birds are loud, but I feel like I'm louder, so I think we're fine as we are. But leave a comment below if you're like, Gabby, the open window was really not it, and you need to make sure you have your window closed. Honestly, I'll probably always have my window closed. Just today, there's nobody here. Like, literally nobody here. I could have him run like a maniac and no one would notice. It's great. Okay. So the power of attention is what social media sells. And the power of attention has become so expensive. Social media is an attention economy, plain and simple. It thrives on engagement. And each year, platforms are outperforming their own records. Since COVID, this acceleration has only intensified. When the world shut down, new demographics logged in. And this speaks to every single platform. There was grandparents who could no longer see their grandkids because of COVID and families wanting to protect them from possibly getting sick. And due to that isolation, they moved onto Facebook so that they could keep up with their families. And then, on the other scale, you have older millennials and Gen X and baby boomers who were not on Instagram previously and now felt called to make an account because they wanted to keep up with their teenage grandkids or nieces and nephews or their kids. So there was a sense of community that was built that was new. And on the youngest scale, you had young millennials and Gen Z move on to TikTok like you had never seen before. Each platform had a huge new community center, and in that there was a bond, there was a lot of emotional resonance that happened within community feeling on a digital platform. And once grandparents joined Facebook to see their families, Gen X embraced Instagram like never before. The digital spaces became a lifeline space, and they haven't loosened their grip since. The shift explains why e-commerce has skyrocketed. Where attention goes, money follows. So if we want to understand today's creator economy, we need to look at what came before it. Have you seen that documentary of the 4 supermodels of the 90s? You know the ones. You know. Yes. So we're going to talk about them a little bit. So before influencers, we had supermodels. Linda Evangelista sorry, I'm not the best at pronouncing, famously declared she wouldn't get out of bed for less than $10,000, a price justified by her ability to sell a product with just her face. And truly, she felt confident when she said that. And she said that on an interview in that documentary series, that when she said that she was surprised by the backlash, and her response to it was, how much money do you think everyone else is getting out of what I'm selling? Like, my face is the final like domino piece before the product gets X amount of sales. And in that, she really felt confident saying she's not getting out of bed for $10,000 or less, period. There are influencers who are like 17 years old getting $10,000 per post. There are influencers who don't even have millions of followers who are getting $10,000 per post. The real stars back in the day were the ones with enduring power. They were the ones who both had the looks and the personality to make a brand feel desirable. Now, I think that's kind of like an interesting thing that I wanted to touch on just a little bit. It's just a thought that went into my head, but to have the look and the personality, and we're such a niched space, and that's like a buzzword, obviously, to be niche. But I think that's been such a great thing, is that, you know, people are seeing more people that they feel connected to, because the internet is a platform and it's no longer just a TV. And to get onto a TV, you had to see a lot of people who had to say yes or no. To get on the internet and post your face on a platform, you just have to ask yourself yes or no, and then have a camera that works, and then know how to post it. So because of that, a lot of people are being exposed to a look that they didn't even know that they needed. So a look isn't even supermodel anymore. A look doesn't have to be super beauty. A look has to be someone that they feel connected to, someone that they maybe visually relate to. And it also could just be somebody who just looks comfortable. Like, nothing about them makes them uncomfortable, really. And then the personality is still the part that makes everyone, oh my gosh, ow, it's like short season, so this is not it, Coda. He's good. Okay. So the ones in the past who had enduring power were the ones with personality, and that speaks to today's creators economy. The following count doesn't matter sometimes as much as having a loyal following, and what makes people loyal towards you is a personality, is something that they feel like they can connect to, or they at least could be friends with. And now consider the Super Bowl. The average price of a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl of 2025 is estimated to be $7 million. I think it ended up being $8 million, but when I wrote this, the Super Bowl was not yet, it had not yet happened. So why? Because of the eyes it commands. Advertisers pay for attention, just like brands once paid models for their influence. Social media operates on the same principles, just on a much larger scale. And not just for fashion or beauty anymore, luxury sales have shifted online big time. There are big names that had not been playing this game before that are currently in the arena. And because of that, it almost spikes numbers. But why are they there now before they weren't? Because all the consumers are now there. And I think another thing is, I think we've all accepted, maybe we don't prefer it, but it is the state that we're in, is these spaces are very much like open malls, public malls. There is community-driven focus more on Facebook, but Instagram is very much the mall. You're there to be seen, you're there to look at things and see people watch, and then you might run into a product while you're window shopping, and you might stop in the store, browse around, and you might even click a link and purchase. When I'm thinking about advertising paying $7 million for a 30-second commercial on the Super Bowl, I think about how many people are watching the Super Bowl. And then you think about how many people some accounts have following them. Of course they're justified. There's literally a real business model showcasing what a 30-second clip should cost for the amount of eyes that a person has. So when I'm thinking about adults who do not believe that children are getting paid to post online, or just not believing that anything is being paid in that large sum, and that could not just be happening. I just don't believe it. I just don't. It's true. It's true. It's a real business, and honestly, it's recession-proof business. If I'm being completely real, obviously there's some aspects of it that will not be as successful, just like any business. But when people lose a job, they have more free time on their hands, and streaming services and social media in general has always been a place people go to when they're stressed. And because of that, consumer behavior will go up, and not in a purchasing, because what accounts make on social media for payments is not based on actual sales conversion. It is based on views. It is based on the promise of like eyes on site. So as people get stressed, as people have more time on their hands, they might spike in eyes, which then allows them to get paid more. So then we can hope that we're giving the right people the eyes, obviously. But also, we do not need to belittle humans who believe that this is a real career, because in a sense, as the world currently stands and how we are currently operating as a society, it is true. That is a business model, and it's a business model completely possible for you if you're able to create consistent content. And it does not have to be you have like being an influencer like Alex Earl or Emma Chamberlain. It is about being somebody like John Green or Bill Nye the Science Guy. Consumerism of education, consumerism of entertainment, consumerism of just anything. If you can bring extra joy to the process, for a human to learn something, for a human to sit alone in their room, which obviously we hope people have friends and that we're not over reliant on parasocial relationships. But at the same time, we do value those people who give us a little extra joy and benefit to our lives. And so can we be both? Anywho, that's like a little bit of a tangent. So social media operates on the same principles that the Super Bowl does. Less than 20 years ago, a multi-million-dollar home required in-person tours, magazine spreads, and exclusive networking to sell. So think about like all old luxury products. You needed a person who knew a person. You needed to see a magazine about it, and you also like would have to call and probably see the product in person. Luxury sales are not just in person anymore, and a well-placed social media post can generate instant inquiries and create digital demand at scale. So a today example, we're going to do a little case study in personal trust and business success. The Emma Chamberlain effect. Love you, girl. You're doing great things. I love watching you. Shine. Shine, baby. Yes. So Emma Chamberlain, once a simple YouTube vlogger, now known for her previously for her casual editing style and relatable personality, has become one of the most financially successful digital personalities of her generation. She went from posting laid-back vlogs in her bedroom to collaborating with Louis Vuitton, launching her own coffee company, and charging upwards of $100,000 per Instagram post. How? Trust. Unlike supermodels of the past, Emma built an empire by making people feel like they knew her. And that's a big, big shift that cannot be overstated at all. Like, we really need to look at this as like a diagnosis of how much of a shift the celebrity persona has been, where before it was so polished. And if you even think about the 50s, like even more so, it's like we're just as a society moving from squares to circles. And I think that's a beautiful thing, but like you really had a perfect persona from celebrities, and like you could not catch them tripping. And I think that was literally like, that was challenges in America's Next Top Model, was like, you're gonna travel and we're gonna judge you and we're gonna paparazzi come and take photos of you and you better look good. Like that was the vibe. And then you have Emma, who's literally just like laid back and not done up, doesn't have her hair done, and she is connecting with people in that really real way that is so valuable for businesses. Way more than that polished look, because that polished look has a disconnect. We love you, we aspire to be you, we envy you, but we don't trust you. We don't feel like we know you like that. But when you show up as a human and very real, very raw, very unpolished, you do start to build that trust. So she created comfort. She made the audience feel like they were her friends. And in that familiarity, she gained the most valuable currency online, credibility. So let's apply this to the business world. If a 20-something creator can make millions by earning audience trust, then anybody who sells a product and wants to use an online platform, whose business literally depends on personal relationships, has an even stronger case for leveraging digital trust. If I'm possibly going to work with you, and there's like a lot of financial advisors that I could choose from, there's a lot of real estate I could choose from, there's a lot of content creators that I could choose from, I'm gonna scroll through your feed before I choose who I'm gonna work with. And I'm gonna say, do I trust this person? Would I feel comfortable making high stakes financial decisions with them? Do they seem knowledgeable, approachable, and consistent? Consistent cannot be understated either, because if it seems like you go through spurts where you participate online and then you disappear, in some ways I can be like, okay, good, then like they're busy and then they're not busy. I guess that's okay. But if I see that you're constantly there, it seems like you can juggle more, and that I can trust that you're going to take care of what I need to get done, because you're also taking care of what you needed to get done. So in a time where consumers crave authenticity over hard selling, the agents who embrace personal branding and real human connections online will see exceptional growth, just like influencers in other industries. Okay, we're back. So the next digital shift before AI takes over. Now let's look forward. So we looked back, Supermodels and the big screens, and then now we moved into a more personal space with digital phones and way more consumerism on that personal scale being highly valued, like Emma Chamberlain. But now we need to look out before AI takes over. So looking forward, social media's dominance isn't fading anytime soon, especially when we think back at COVID, and I think about how when the world didn't know what was going on, we all turned to social media to ask each other what was going on. If we were to get into war, if there's a sense of a Cold War, if there's another pandemic, we are going to move to these same spaces because it's a public forum. We should have these spaces. We should have these spaces as a public, because we need public forums where we can speak to each other and we know that we're talking to other humans. But that's the next part. So it's not going away, but it's evolving. And the next shift in digital trust will be the people who establish themselves now versus those who wait. Why? AI models. Right now, if you show up on social media as if you pop up on my feed, people can still assume that you're real. When I just am randomly scrolling and I'm like, oh, a new person, I like their content, and then I look into their profile, I'm like, I'm gonna follow them. I like them. I like what they're saying. I like the vibe that they have going on. I'm gonna follow. Right now, I'm like, that's totally human. I need to start asking myself that question. I need to start being like, is this a human or is this a fake human? And obviously a fake human can have multiple reasons. Maybe somebody just has a lot of visual insecurities with their own body, and so they create an AI model, but they're finally able to speak their words. They're finally feeling confident even though it's a screened image of them. And maybe that's a voice that we needed to hear as a society. And the other side of it is corporations can plant people essentially. These fake accounts can be human-like, very real, just doing mundane things, because the mundane things is what we have been posting online already. There's already so much data for the AI to use to understand visual and contextual mundane things for human nature. And so when corporations, instead of paying $100,000 to Emma Chamberlain, can make an account similar to Emma Chamberlain and then feed it content that makes it seem real enough, but then also places their brand just where they want it for you to buy. So when I'm running into people online right now, I'm like, yeah, that's human. But I need to start asking myself, is it? And I need to start really being critical about who I'm running into on the internet and what they're selling to me and why they're saying it in the first place. So they trust your face, your videos, your personality, but in the next 5 years, AI-generated influencers and deep fake models will flood the market, and consumers will become questioning, is this person even real? How much of their image is AI-generated? Are they trustworthy professional or just an algorithm? This means that anybody who establishes their digital presence now will have a greater advantage later. Because I know I followed you and I've been following you, and I know that you've been posting since before AI and deep fake models were easy or sophisticated or looked real. And because of that, I trust you now more, which means Emma Chamberlain, Alex Earl, it means all the Pauls, it means all the people who have been performing, who have been made fun of and have been seen as this lesser community member in the eye of the public. They have been more real, more raw than people who are in Hollywood, because they are getting CGI to be changed of their face. We've seen Avengers, we've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Those movies are now like those skills of those movies are now easily done and can be done by the public. So those stocks, which I never want to call influencer stocks because I have read a dystopian book where they become stock options, which complicated. But essentially they're just going to become more valuable spaces because they're real. We know that they're real humans, and I mean, that's just going to become hard to come by. This means that consumers will trust the people they've already been following for years. Meanwhile, newcomers entering the scene post-AI boom will struggle to prove that they're actually real. If you wait until later to build your online persona, you will be met with distrust, skepticism, and the assumption that you're hiding behind AI. So my final thoughts. Comfort and connection in an uncertain world. As long as we seek comfort, we will turn to social media platforms. And as political, economic, and global uncertainties grow, so will our need to connect. Think back to COVID. Think when we felt life uncertain, where did we go to share opinions, to see our loved ones and stay updated? Social media. That instinct won't change. Perhaps new platforms will emerge, ones that offer the missing piece that we currently lack. But the need for digital spaces won't disappear. Because at the end of the day, we trust where we find comfort, and for millions, that comfort is found in the faces we follow online. The best time to start building was yesterday. The next best time is today. Let's chat again soon. Gibbs. And Coda. We are stressed, but he's cute when he's stressed. Are you gonna smile for him? Say hi. Gibbs and Coda. Well, I hope you guys had a fantastic Easter. If you do that. And eggs these days, right? Am I right? Good luck. Talk to you again and see you later. Mwah. Bye.